Hello everyone and welcome back to Turkish series stars. If you love hearing what really pulses beneath the spotlight, the anxieties, the whispers, the delicate feelings that never make it to the red carpet, make sure you're subscribed and tap that like button. Today's headline is echoing across timelines and news desks, because someone finally broke the silence. The new girlfriend of actor Barış Baktaş has spoken out, and her words sent a tremor straight through fandoms. In a calm but unmistakably charged confession, she said she was tired of living in the shadow of Yağmur Yüksel. In just a few breaths, that sentiment dragged the past into the present and brought back a flood of memories for viewers who still remember the unforgettable electricity between Barış Baktaş and Yağmur Yüksel. It all ignited when Barış was seen in Istanbul, hand in hand with his new partner. The images of them walking quietly down a side street, trying to act normal in a city that never lets celebrities be, took only minutes to scatter across social media. Some fans were genuinely happy to see him turn a page. Others, almost automatically, began to line up comparisons, measuring this new woman against a name that refuses to fade, Yağmur Yüksel. After all, Barış and Yağmur weren't just co-stars, they were a phenomenon. Their on-screen rhythm, the looks that seemed to speak more than dialogue ever could, carved out a place in the audience's emotional lives. And yet, that nostalgia, as sweet as it is for viewers, became a weight the new girlfriend could no longer carry. So she took a breath and spoke. In a recent interview with a well-known entertainment magazine, she didn't raise her voice or make a spectacle. Instead, she chose clarity. She said she respects Yağmur's talent, but she is not Yağmur. She does not want to be admired for reminding people of someone else. She emphasized that Barış chose her for who she is, not as a stand-in for a memory. The sentence traveled fast, from screenshot to screenshot, caption to caption, and soon everyone had an opinion. Some applauded her courage and honesty, praising a woman who refuses to be reduced to a comparison chart. Others raced to defend Yağmur, insisting that the bond viewers felt between Yağmur and Barış was too special to ever be replaced. As the noise grew, eyes turned to Barış. True to form, he didn't deliver sweeping statements or jump into the fray. Those close to him say he told his girlfriend not to let the online chorus rewrite their reality. Don't let strangers' opinions decide the mood in your home. We know what's true, he reportedly reminded her. But Turkish media does not do quiet for long. Headlines sharpened into speculation. Articles hinted at stress between the couple, analyzing every brief video, every side glance, spinning micro-moments into stories about strain. Meanwhile, Yağmur stayed publicly composed. She didn't grant interviews or throw accusations. Yet one of her posts did catch fire. She wrote that silence has its own power. With that, 1,000 interpretations bloomed. Was she responding to the interview? Was it coincidence? Was it a graceful way to avoid a feud, or a carefully aimed sentence meant to land exactly where everyone would feel it? Fans split down the middle. Some read it as dignity. Others wondered if the timing poured fuel on an already complicated situation, even without naming anyone. A veteran TV journalist went further. This isn't just about romance, he said on a talk show. It's a perception war. In his words, Yağmur's image is still woven into how the public sees Barış. Maybe that sounds dramatic, but look at the pattern. The girlfriend's friends insist that, in private, she has felt the pressure intensely. At first, things were lovely, they claim. But after every public step out, comment sections pulsed with the same refrain. Comparisons to Yağmur, side-by-side photos, nostalgic clips edited into montages. It began to feel like a current they couldn't swim against. Witnesses say that current showed up one recent evening by the Bosphorus. At a popular restaurant with a view that usually calms any heart, the couple looked tense. They tried to hold their poise, but people noticed the heaviness. She seemed hurt, and Barış leaned in, talking softly, trying to steady the moment. Later, photos from that night spread across accounts with opinions tumbling over each other. Some said the new girlfriend is battling a tide of hate from die-hard fans of Yağmur. Others cheered her for speaking her truth, insisting that not everyone in love should be forced to relive someone else's past. Then the algorithm started pushing two names together again. Hashtags with Barış's and Yağmur's names surged back into the trending lists, almost as if time had folded. And that's when the rumor mill kicked into overdrive, talk of a possible new TV project that could reunite Barış Baktaş and Yağmur Yüksel on screen. Nothing was confirmed, but the idea alone was enough to turn comment sections into chaos. One journalist called it reopening an old wound. For some, it was a fantasy come alive. For others, the mere suggestion felt cruel to a new relationship trying to find its shape free from the comparisons. To step away from the glare, Barış and his girlfriend quietly slipped out of Istanbul for a short break. A friend says she admitted she just needed to breathe, to clear her head, to remember that not every chapter is written in public. They were spotted in a small coastal town, strolling by the water at sunset. Even there, the cameras found them. Barış seeks peace by the sea, headlines proclaimed, as if serenity itself could be packaged into a headline and sold by the click. Around the same time, Yağmur posted another message, not every silence means peace. Again, the interpretations multiplied. Was she reflecting on her own journey? Was it a poet's line offered to anyone who needed it? Or was it a subtle note meant to land in a very specific inbox? This is the nature of fame, every word becomes a mirror, and everyone sees their own reflection. People close to Barış say he's exhausted by being pulled backward, not because he holds resentment, but because he craves steadiness. He wants a life that moves forward. But some fans won't let go of the Barış and Yağmur era. They launched a campaign urging a reunion, convinced that their chemistry was more than a television effect, convinced it defined a golden moment in Turkish series culture. For producers, the prospect is irresistible and terrifying. A reunion could shatter ratings records, or it could set off emotional tremors that would rattle every personal boundary involved. When whispers of that potential reunion reached him, people in his circle claim Barış offered a simple private truth: he doesn't want to relive the past. His life is different now. It's not a condemnation, just a line drawn around a heart that wants to belong to today. In contrast, the new girlfriend chose quiet after her interview. No new posts. No hints or jabs. She kept her distance from the frenzy and, according to friends, repeated only one request: that people see her for her own story, not as a shadow thrown by someone else's legacy. Ironically, the more she stepped back, the more brands circled. The attention made her bankable, and offers for ad campaigns reportedly arrived with generous terms. Fame is strange that way. A woman asks not to be compared, and the very intensity of that comparison powers new opportunities at her door. Strip away the headlines and this is not just a love tale. It's about memory, the hunger for a bygone feeling, and the battle to claim a future when the world keeps pressing rewind. It is about how an audience's devotion can be both a blessing and a burden, how nostalgia can cradle and choke at the same time. It's about 3 points on a triangle that no one meant to draw: Barış, his girlfriend, and Yağmur, all caught in a loop of old warmth and new wounds, of image and intimacy. Recently, when asked about it all, about the comparisons, the rumors, the campaigns, the signals and silences, Barış chose an answer that sounded both gentle and firm. Love and respect, he said, also mean knowing when to let go. Maybe that is the message hidden inside all of this noise. Maybe peace isn't about holding on to the most dazzling chapter, but allowing the next one to open without guilt. Perhaps the audience that grew up on certain faces and scenes can learn to celebrate what was without demanding it forever. And perhaps a woman who finally found the courage to speak can be met with grace rather than a chorus of measurements she never asked for. Here at Turkish Series Stars, we'll keep watching with care, not just at the clips and headlines, but at the human thread running underneath. Thank you for being here with us. Don't forget to subscribe, share your thoughts below, and tell us what your heart really thinks. Are these comparisons fair, or is it time to let a treasured story stay where it belongs, in the past, cherished, but no longer in the way of what comes next?